if you're bitching about everything being digital and you have a PC, there's no fucking disk drive in your PC unless you build your PC to have a disk drive. There's none anymore because even all the new towers you buy don't have a slot for a disk drive at
Exactly.
all.
And they're
They
comparing them to
don't.
PCs nonstop.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another riveting episode of Unfiltered Gamers, where we talk about things and stuff in gaming that's kind of annoying, and we give you an unfiltered view on it. We try to curse a lot and honest opinions.
And try to
I'm
spin
Delacroix.
things a little bit better too, sometimes, you know.
Yeah,
A lot of complaints out there.
I'm Della, and with me, as always, is the lovely Matt Curious.
Mad curious.
How you doing today?
Doing well. How about yourself?
I'm doing well. I'm doing really good. It's Sunday. I think I woke up and screwed up like my neck again.
Oh no. Now you're making me want to crack mine.
Yeah, I freaking did something. I kinked something in my freaking like back working out, and it was going away. And then like this early morning, like I was like rolling around and like I fucking
No.
kinked it again.
I hate
So I had
that.
to
I'll have like
pop,
my shoulder hurt
Excedrin.
for like days. Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Dude, it's
And I just started getting
terrible.
back in the gym, so I'm sure I'll have a few here and there. Get the fish oil out, you know.
nice.
Yeah. No, I've just been getting back in it. I was getting bad lately, so it's time.
Listen, you gotta stay fit.
Yeah.
Always stay fit. You know, especially if you're like a content creator and you're a streamer. It's good to stay. What is the word I'm looking for? Just get into just move. Just
Move.
fucking move.
Go outside,
A lot
get
of
some
time-
sun. Like I luckily get sun all day, even when I'm gaming all day. Like that's the
No,
beauty of
go
living in
outside.
Florida and having.
No.
No. I'm not saying it's replacement for it. I'm just saying like it's different from if you are in an office like I was for years and years under fluorescence, like in the middle of the office, getting nothing, no light, nothing. And so I get light from my windows all day, even when I'm gaming. I still go outside. Don't get me wrong. Like when I'm not gaming, I go outside and I'll write on my balcony or something when I'm writing articles, or sometimes I'll edit on my balcony if it's nice enough. It gets hot in the summer, so it's like impossible. But if it's like kind of, especially in the morning or evening, it's like very chill and not too hot. For my laptop to overheat, I'll take it out. And especially I have my controller now, so I'll just have my laptop propped up. And I started editing with my controller. I don't know if I told you that.
Wait, what?
Mhm.
You edit with a controller? Like if you was playing like one of those you ever play those games back in like PlayStation where you used to make like your own beats and stuff? It was like a music mixer game. I forgot the name of it.
I don't think so.
Like you used to literally like become like a DJ. You would literally like sit there with a controller and fucking like put beat sounds and everything and make music.
I don't think I
You
played
never
that.
played that?
I mean, I played like Rock
Never?
Band, but I never played that.
Nah,
And
this was
I
different.
play
This
music too. I don't know if you've seen I don't think it'll pick it up, but I have guitars on the wall, and I have like I played piano since I was 5. Played drums in high school.
Oh, nice.
I have, like, a
so
little
you're
kit.
a musician.
Yeah, not a musician, but I have played music forever. Yeah, I don't know if
Yeah.
I would classify me as a musician, but
All right. So this episode we're going to be talking about, is it worth it? You know, with PlayStation dropping their Pro version, as you know, every system does. You know, every system comes out with their standard version. Then they come out with a slim version. Then there's the Pro version. Then there's the Slim Pro version of whatever. And it's just like, is it worth spending the coin on all that stuff? And it's just not like with consoles. It's the same thing with PCs, parts, conventions, the name brand stuff. We're gonna be talking about Elgato, the Jordan of the streaming world, and then also some other things. And just kind of having a sense of financial literacy, because a lot of us are financially illiterate.
and for background, neither of us really are. I mean, you do budgeting for some big things, it sounds like, and I worked in corporate finance for ages. You do like project planning and stuff, right? Or at least controlling the budgets of projects to some degree.
Oh hell no! I control the budget of my own projects.
Oh, okay. Well, nonetheless, right? We both have experience with finance, and neither of us seem to be very. We both seem to be pretty financially literate. So I think it'll be an interesting conversation because a lot of people realize they're not and don't even know where to start. They just keep spending.
Yeah. So I'm gonna tell you a story. I'm gonna tell you, guys, a funny story about something being worth it. So I don't even know if you remember, like around the early 2020, maybe like 2019, 2018. There was this whole thing with like gamers, like it's a paid kind of connection for gamers to play games with each other, like guys to play with gamer girls. I don't know if you ever heard of that. I don't know if anybody watching ever heard of that. But there's like this whole thing.
Guides to play with gamer girls? Is that what you
No,
said?
no, guys. So like, I'm a guy, right?
Yeah.
I'm a guy playing Call of Duty, but I want to play Call of Duty with a gamer girl. Well,
Like-
there was like an app.
Like you just wanted to play with a girl for fun, or because you like were trying to make it a dating app, or because you wanted to make content, or because
Who fucking knows? Who
you
fucking
wanted
knows
to
what it
troll
was?
them? Like, what was the actual reason?
No, but so that was the app. That was the app, dude. I'm telling you what the app is. I'm not telling you.
Wait, what?
I'm telling you what the app was. I'm telling you what the app was. The
I know,
app, that was the
I'm
app.
just baffled. All right, okay.
Okay, so that was the app. So I was like, I did it on a stream before. I was like, is this service worth it? Like, is it like really worth it? So I think you pay like $10 for an hour. You pay $10 for like, I think it's like $10 for like 2 sessions of a game or whatever, depending on whatever game it was.
My rate would be way more than 10.
Oh, excuse me, Miss Fancy Van. Jesus, whoa.
10 for an hour? Like, man, no. I would charge more.
I don't know. Whatever. Maybe I don't remember. It was a small value. Whatever. So I'm like, let me just try this for science reasons, because I did it on stream and everything. So I paid the service. I was doing League of Legends, and they matched me with it. They gave me like this. They matched me with some girl, and she messaged me, and she was like, oh yeah, we're playing this time, or blah blah blah. So I'm like, okay, cool. We'll play 2 games. So we're playing, right? And you would think like a service like that, you would want a reoccurring customer, right?
Mm-hmm.
You would. What would you like? Let's think. Let's get into the mind of you, Mad.
Mm-hmm.
I need you to be like a bubbly female.
Would you be doing it with multiple people at once, or just one?
One.
One customer. Yeah,
So-
I would definitely want more than 10. Let's say that I was doing it for like 25 an hour. I would
Okay, so 25
I
an
would be
hour.
giving them like specialized attention. Now, it depends on what I think they want. You know what I mean? Like if they just want to hear a girl's voice while they're playing, that's pretty easy. If they want like a fake girlfriend experience while they're gaming, that's a totally different thing. Now, that's not something
But-
I do, so nobody get any ideas. But like
Okay, but
You know
I'm
what I
saying
mean?
okay. But let's say you did it. So I need you to imagine yourself.
Mm.
You're a young, bubbly e-girl, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you're playing with a guy who you want to be a reoccurring customer, right?
Mhm.
You want him to come back and keep spending $25 on you, right?
Yeah, so you feed him compliments. You're like, you're so good at the game. Oh my goodness.
Exactly. That never happened. That never happened. Never happened once.
You're so good.
Nope. Yeah,
I'm so
that never
impressed.
happened. Exactly, that never happened. I'm like, this service is bullshit. It's not worth it.
I mean, that could have
It's
just
not
been the
fun-
one person that you did it with, because you said you tested it. Basically, you'd have to test like 10 or 15 at least to get a feel.
Dude, I'm not paying that much, but you fucking crazy? 10,
Like
15?
one isn't a very good sampling, to be fair.
Dude, no, that was the test, and it failed. Because if you want me hooked on your product, the first purchase should at least be decent, bro. I didn't get told like, oh my god, you're so good. I didn't get any compliments or praises.
So that's
like,
probably what
this
people are
service
looking
is
for.
bullshit.
Like they're looking for like the girlfriend experience, or like just a girl that you run into in a game and she's very impressed by you. Something like that, like something to feed.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, there we go. That makes
Because
sense for the
that's what they-
motivation.
Because that's what they kind of like feed you. And like when you look at these, when you see these like little ads on like, what was it, Instagram, or like even I think it was an Instagram ad, but it's like it's matching you with gamer girls and gamer guys and everything. So it's like you would think like the person you're being matched with is complimenting you, and at least trying to entice you to like come back and work with them. But no. So was it worth the $10 I paid? Fuck no. Did I lose out on $10? Fuck yes. And
You
did I
wanted your
lose 2
compliments.
ranks in
lost
League
2
of Legends?
ranks?
I lost 2 ranks because of this fucking. She wasn't even good.
Oh
You know,
no!
match
If you're not
games-
gonna compliment, like at least be good. Yeah, like you've got to fulfill something for that $10. Like even if it's just like I helped you rank up because I'm good at the game and I happen to have I'm a girl with a girl's voice. Dang.
Yeah. So that was the story. So that's the story of me getting a product that wasn't even worth it. So
Dang.
when we talk about these things, is putting your dollar in something worth it in the end. So we're going to talk about one of the main things is the PlayStation 5 Pro. So the PlayStation 5 Pro, they started talking about it when they officially released. Let's go September 12th. They officially released like the PlayStation. No, September 11th. I'm sorry, September 11th. They dropped it. So when they dropped, everybody was like, okay, cool. What are the new features? Bigger hard drive, more teraflops. I don't know what the fuck teraflops do.
Neither
And
of
it's
us are tech people, but it sounds like it does like double the power, whatever that means. And honestly, if you're a gamer, that might be really important to you because a lot of people really care about the performance, especially like the people who like PC gaming, which is where I think this conversation started to go because they want that like more power, more fidelity, more better graphics, like all of this. Like this is what they're looking for. And
Yes.
I looked at some breakdowns of it because I wanted to see like what the actual differences were. They have like softer shadows, which is more realistic, and they have like where instead of it being as blurry in the grass, like it looks a little bit like you can pick out the grass blades a little bit more, like it really is.
You can see that?
Yeah,
Because I couldn't
yeah,
see that,
yeah.
dude. I'm like looking at those.
But to be fair, they're giving you pictures most of the time, and pictures don't show FPS. So like,
No, I've even
you know what
watched
I mean?
videos.
Yeah.
I've even watched videos and I couldn't tell the difference.
I watched the videos and I was like looking for differences and I was looking at different elements and breaking it down. And some elements look exactly the same and some you can tell there's like a little bit more sharpness to it and you can pick out individual like features of those elements a little bit more. But it's nothing crazy. It's just like if you want the best possible experience, this is your option, right?
Yeah, but at the end of the day, it's like you barely fucking see it at times.
Well, they're also
Does
starting
it-
to make games for it though. So like they're gonna
What
say
ga-
it's
what do you
PS5
mean?
Pro enhanced, whatever that means. I can't say that it's gonna be great. I'm just saying they're gonna start making the games even more whatever so that it looks better. Supposedly.
So you
I'm just
so you're telling me any new games I get for my PS5 I have now is just dog.
not dog, but like they're going to be improving them. So for instance, like they mentioned that Assassin's Creed Shadows is going to be like optimized for this PS5 Pro or enhanced
what way?
enhanced for the PS5 Pro.
So it's
Graphically,
gonna
I
run
assume.
at 60 frames per second.
I don't know. I didn't look too far into it, but supposedly I don't
Here's my
yeah.
here's my gripe with this stuff. If you're making me pay X amount of dollars for a fucking console and the games can't run at fucking 60 frames per second, why am I paying all this money?
Have they said
for a
that
fucking-
that it is or isn't?
Dude, half the games coming out now for these newer systems aren't running at 60 frames per second.
That's what I'm saying. So they might be going that direction with it. I honestly don't know because it's not my particular like thing.
Dude, you have a PlayStation 5 too, right?
Yeah.
You
So
pop. How much you pop for that?
it was like 500.
Okay, so would you not want to pay $500 for 60 frames per second on your new consoles?
It looks
'Cause that's
really
the
good already, whatever it is. Like that's the
But
thing.
that's
Like
the
it just
push,
looks good,
dude.
you know? Okay,
That's
so
the
I
push.
think it's going up. I think it is
I don't need things.
Here, hold
I
on.
need no.
All right.
I need hard
listen,
facts.
I am not a tech person. I have a whole other thing I want to talk about with it. All right. PS5 Pro, will it be 60 FPS? I'm not a tech person, man. It
It's
doesn't
like
guarantee 60 FPS.
Why
Doesn't
am I-
guarantee it.
Okay,
So it sounds
so-
like some games will have it. So maybe GTA 6 that everybody's excited for, right? Or some games might have 60 FPS, but I guess none did. I don't know. It doesn't, like, I don't notice it as much. Like I said, I was going through and, like, noticing if I'm looking for it. But, like, it already looks really good. Yes, let's take the next step and increase the fidelity. Cool. I don't particularly care. Like, it's not,
Dude, okay, so
you know.
so the $700 price of the PlayStation 5 Pro, is it worth it? If I'm not guaranteed 60 frames per
I would say
fucking
no.
second?
I would say no. I would say the price is pretty outlandish. They've what increases that on the actual price? Because we're talking about it was 500, right? And now it's 700. So
That's
we're talking
700
about like
for
a
the
200
digital
increase on
version.
500. We'll talk about that in a second. So this is like what, a 40% increase for double the power and a little bit more fidelity, but not guaranteed 60. I'd say no, it's not worth it.
Yeah. But the thing is, the whole gripe right now between people is that compared to a PC or a graphics card, is it worth it? Now, I'm
So
gonna
to
say
PCs, yes,
compared to PCs, is it worth it? Like
at the same price point. Yeah, people were trying to compare it online, and they're full of it, to be honest.
yeah, but the thing is, here's the thing with PC building. As somebody who built their own PC, my PC with all the parts in it now is worth like $2,000, give
Yeah.
or take.
Yeah.
One part alone in a PC, if you get a decent graphic card, is $600.
Exactly.
And here's the thing: the new games coming out for PC, they recommend you, if you want the best quality and to see fucking like, you know, the fucking hairs on somebody's fucking face move, you need like you're gonna need the most recent graphics card. You need a higher CPU. You need like a i9 or fucking Ryzen, whatever they have.
Well, I had about
Cooling.
yeah, I had probably or have about the same level of gaming PC you do, and my friend built it. To be fair, I like helped and learned and stuff, but the pieces, I was picking out and going through PC Part Picker and checking with tech friends and all that. So this thing, I think, was put together all in for about $1,200, and it's easily worth $2,000 or more. And so
Yeah, but that's a basic build. That's like this is your first build?
No, this first build is actually a NAS now. Network attached storage.
Okay, so like how much was your first build, would you say?
It was like 630 all in. It was a cheap build.
Yeah, so same thing. My first build was like under $800.
But I mostly used it for streaming, to be fair. More than gaming.
Same.
I do a little bit of like PC gaming here and there on it, but like really high level games don't even really want to work on this is a pretty high end gaming PC. And so like when I look at people online who are like, oh, gaming PCs are the best, I'm like, you have to have like a $3,000 to $4,000 gaming PC in order to really be getting the benefits from it. And on top of that, you don't have the what's that called, like the user interface of PlayStation or Xbox, a console that is meant for gaming, and you can get games and download them really quickly. It's like that user friendly experience makes a huge difference, and it's like they aren't seeming to get that. They're like, the PC can do everything else. I don't want it to do everything else. The PC is a different experience than the console. The console is built for gaming, and the games are optimized for it because they only have to look at those parts to optimize for. Whereas I had this argument with people on Twitter for days where I was like, listen, I have gone through thousands of Steam reviews for another YouTube series I was working on my Mad Curious account called Disagreeing With. And so I was disagreeing with reviews. So I would go through thousands of reviews. We're talking dozens on each of the main large games. They'll be like, this doesn't function well on my PC. Like, look at any big game. They don't, like, in Steam reviews, people are complaining that it doesn't work. They're like, oh, RDR2 doesn't work on my PC. Yeah, I bet it doesn't.
Yeah, so when you look at like PCs,
but you don't see that on console, right? Almost
yeah,
ever.
because when you look at PCs compared to consoles, it's like you're spending X amount of dollars and you have the full experience. That's it. You're done. The most you have to do is change out the hard drive to make it bigger. That's the most you have to. I did that on my PlayStation 5. I added a 2 terabyte SSD. That's the most I did. That's it. How much that cost me? $70 and a YouTube channel.
Yeah.
Now the thing is with a PC now, here's the PC part. If I buy a new CPU, then have to make sure that my motherboard is compatible with that CPU. On top of that, I have to make sure I have the proper cooling for that CPU. Now I know that you guys say, oh, the cooling fan comes with CPUs. Yeah, but if I get an i9, you need a liquid cooling for it.
You're going to automatically cap everything if you're not putting good cooling in it. Everybody knows that. Even people that don't know PCs know that.
But now here's the thing. Am I tech savvy? Do I know what I'm going to be putting in that? No. So now if I'm not tech savvy, I have to pay somebody to do that. So
versus just buying the thing and being done. And if somebody has enough budget to just be able to buy the thing, and on top of that, think about it, like an Xbox you can get for like $300, a PlayStation you can get for $500, a Switch you can get for $300. You can have beautiful, perfect, optimized gaming experiences with an optimized gaming, basically browser, whatever you want to call it, UI. You can have that for a few $100s versus spending probably over $1,000 minimum for like a really good one. Some people want to argue that you can get it for like under $1,000. You're going to be struggling to get a good gaming PC that can run everything for under $1,000. You're talking over $1,000, and for something that can run most games, you're talking over $2,000, $3,000 if you really want to be like a better than consoles. So like,
Exactly.
what are people actually like? Some people spend $10,000 on a gaming PC, and you're telling me that you think $700 is really that much? Like, I understand if you don't think it's value for money, especially with the big jump they just did for a quality increase that is not that visible. But like, when we're talking about compared to PCs, it's absurd the arguments they're coming up with.
Yeah, you're looking at a longer investment too with like consoles at time, because console rate. What was the last? When did when did we go from the 4 to the 5? How many years? What was the jump?
I think it was like 7. I think
7 years.
PS4
7 years.
came
So
out
maybe
in 13.
did it? Let's check. Hold on. Let's go to
13.
fact checker. Let's fact check ourselves. PS4.
I think they come out usually around every 6 to 7 years, which is why
Okay.
people think it's coming out in 2 years, and I don't think that's the case for next gen.
November 2013. November 2013.
Yeah.
And the PS5.
November 2020. So it was 7 years, almost on the dot.
Okay, so 7 years. Do you know how many graphics cards have released in those fucking past 7 years?
Yeah.
And when and then we had a whole iteration with the 20 series and 30 series had fucking major issues.
Mm-hmm.
Those series had major issues. Then when you go into the fucking 30 and when you go into 20, 30, and 40 series, some of the series they tell you don't buy because it fucking sucks.
And you have to make sure everything's compatible the whole time.
Exactly. Dude,
and things can still go wrong. Even if you didn't do anything wrong or buy anything wrong, things can still go wrong.
When I bought my 4070 Super, I only bought it because I got a free game out of it. Was it worth it? Yes, I paid $700. Got the closest to a 4080. I got a free game. I got Wukong, Black Myth Wukong for free.
Very nice.
So, and then like that 40 series, I'm good for like God knows how long till they start with the 50 series. But mind you, I was coming from a 1080X, the 10 series. I skipped the 20 and 30s. My 1080X was like doing well. I had barely any crashes. I was able to run games at high, no issues, no lags, and everything. And mind you, again, my PC this is like
So you're on the Intel
second PC
side,
build.
it sounds like. I have an AMD side.
Yeah, I'm an
PC.
Intel because Intel is fucking more superior.
It generally is. I don't listen. I listen to my tech friends on stuff, but yeah, I have
Your tech friends lied to you.
I have a pretty good Ryzen 7. I think it's 5800. That was like still a little while ago because we built this a bit ago, and I saved up like and bought pieces as they were on sale over like an 8-month period to get the right pieces. A lot of people want it now. And so they're like the generation of now, and it's like they can't think about saving and investing over time and looking for sales and deals. I'm like, I built my PC that was for like $600 was far superior to most people's PCs for $600 because I like got the pieces over time. Same with the second one. And so my GPU is I think the 6700 XT, which is pretty decent.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
No, don't, like I said, it's building your own first gaming PC isn't wrong. You could get a lot of good deals. I know for me, I have a Micro Center near me. Micro Center is a godsend. You spend like $400, you get like a motherboard, a CPU, a really good
One
CPU,
of my friends
and RAM.
lived near one and would send me stuff. So they would look out for sales too, and then we'd get it and
yeah. But at the end of the day, you have to make sure everything is compatible, and you have to make sure it's wired correctly. Because if you wired it wrong, you can fucking pop, and that's it. You're done.
And so people are like, "Oh, it's so easy." No, it's not easy. And I'm not a big fan of the pre-made or the gaming PC companies. I think a lot of them are scams, and I stick by that. I think some of them are fine, and some of them probably are priced appropriately. And I don't say scam. A lot of people don't realize what the word scam is when they're using it. They think scam means like, "Oh, it doesn't work." No. Scam means that you are being marketed and sold on one thing, and then you're getting something else entirely. Right?
Yes.
Or you are not getting like the value for what they've said they're giving you. And so they're basically giving you, they're like pricing up everything by a ton. And a lot of people don't realize it because they don't do their research. So if you're going to go into those companies and you're willing to spend, 200% or whatever on it, go ahead. Like that's as long as you understand what you're getting for your money. But a lot of people are not not getting what they're
They're
paying.
not.
You know what I mean?
So again, with PC and console gaming, you have to look at the pro and cons. Now, there's a lot of streamers you see where they have a monster gaming PC, and their streaming PC is like a fucking bullshit $500 build. Because the streaming PC, all it does is just capturing stuff and it's streaming it.
I mean, honestly, I
even-
need a pretty monster build for streaming. I don't my build like sometimes still like it just goes wonky for everything that I'm running in the background. It'll like freak out sometimes.
My build, like when you saw me playing Wukong, I'm playing Wukong and streaming on the same stuff, and I'm fine.
That's great. Yeah.
I'm fine because like again, I made sure like I put everything together. I have friends and family who like know tech and like work in it, and so like they told me what to do, and I talked to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And then I just do my own research. So, is it worth it having a gaming PC? Yes, if you can afford it and you're going to be using it for gaming or video editing and stuff, like it's going to be worth it. But if you can't afford it, don't get on the internet e-begging.
Yeah, just do it. Get a console. You can get a good console for $300. You know what I mean? Like, especially you can get a used Xbox, PlayStation, Switch. You can get like all these things for like $300. And people like are so scared of used tech. Like,
Yeah.
is it? You know, the titles. Is it worth it? Go for used tech. Stop being afraid of it. Stop
Refurbished.
buying everything new.
Refurbished.
I got a straight up non-refurbished used camera, and it's worked for years.
I
Sony
like refurbished
5100,
stuff.
and I got this baby for like, I want to say like $200. Maybe less than 200.
Like
I think it was under
things.
two. It was like not very much, and they generally go for like 400. You just have to look for sales. It came with the kit lens, and I got a lens for it. Wide angle.
The reason I say refurbished because when things are refurbished, that means it went back to the manufacturer. They fixed whatever and was like, okay, this is what we have wrong.
Yeah.
It's fixed. It goes back out there and it's cheaper.
Yeah, 100%.
It's much more cheaper. So,
but people are so afraid to use stuff. But think about everything that you have that's been used for like, 2, 5, 7 years, and it's all working great. Like people are so afraid of used things as though they don't use stuff for a really long time. And that just because somebody else has owned it, it's going to be a mess. Like people don't just sell things because they're broken.
Like relationships.
They sell them because they're done with them. You know what I mean? Like people just don't think through the motivation of selling things. They're like, well, there must be something wrong with it. No, it's like if maybe they got a better camera and they're selling their camera. Maybe they, maybe instead of trading in their PS5, they just bought a PS5 Pro and now they're trying to sell it. You know what I mean? Like there's a million reasons somebody might be selling, or maybe they're moving and they got a new job and they're not gonna have time for gaming, so they're selling it. Or maybe they're hard on money and they're selling. Like there could be any number of reasons that isn't the thing is broken. And I feel like when people are shopping on their line, they're like, oh, there must be something wrong with it. Like the chances of that are there, but they're not like the hugest percentage ever. People aren't generally trying to scam you on that stuff, or there wouldn't be these sales platforms for it doing well. But the other thing I want to say about like, I lost the thought. PC. So a lot of people think about PCs and like consoles as just one has to be better than the other, right? And so a lot of PC people will say it's better because you can get better graphics and you can customize everything. And then the console players will say it's better because it's easy and I just have to turn the thing on and I can use it easily. And they're both right. The thing is, people are like fighting over something that doesn't make sense. They're fighting over arguments and trying to decide which is better.
Frames per second usually.
So the difference is just advantages, pros and cons. Pretty much anything in the world has pros and cons. Same with games. Like a lot of people are like, this game's better than this game, and that can be their opinion. And that can be, but you have to think about like the why behind all of it. So like when people are saying PC's better or console's better, the people who like consoles more, which is me, want that ease of use. They want to be able to put it in rest mode and come back and be able to play it really quickly. There are some people who have like a really busy lifestyle. Maybe they have kids and stuff, and they want to be able to like just leave it, turn it off real quick and then come back and play for a few minutes. And they don't have to worry about like booting up the PC, opening the game. They've got a million things coming up. They're like, oh, now I've got to upgrade this. Now I've got to update this. And they don't, and then they get distracted by their email. Like it's like gaming. It's just that like people don't think how like important UI, like the user experience is for gaming, because it just has you focused fully on gaming, and so you feel like you're taking a break. It's like the same thing as when you go the people who like to have a different workspace than their chill space, it's like separating that space. And so you don't feel like you're going to work when you're getting on your PC. You like are getting on a console and you're like ready to game. And so it's like it's an experience. It's ease of use, and the games are going to be optimized for it. So you're not going to have to worry about tweaking settings to just be able to play a game really quickly. Versus PC, you get the customization. And so the way I see it, it's like iPhone versus Android, because iPhone is going to be easy user experience. I don't want to customize anything. I don't have time. I don't care. But there are some people who are going to want like an Android, and they're going to want to customize everything, and they're going to want to make it their own, and they're going to want to have the best experience. That it's kind of the similar concept, and neither are wrong
Android,
or right. They're just pros and cons. And so people need to stop thinking that they have to be right about everything. Just choose what you like.
But that's the thing, as a consumer, you want to have a preference. So it all comes down to preferences too. So like Mac it to iOS to like Windows. Some people like Windows better because a lot, like you said, there's a lot of customization and stuff, and like Linux. If you know someone who uses Linux, beware of a person who uses Linux. Anybody who uses Linux is a dangerous person, because you know why? Linux is just straight fucking putting your own information in code and stuff, and most of those motherfuckers who run Linux can hack like crazy. Trust me, I know people. Windows,
you don't hear normal people using it, that's for sure.
yeah. I know a buddy. I have a buddy who uses Linux, and I'm like, he's like, hey, let me see your phone. I'm like, don't touch my fucking phone.
That's amazing. Yeah, anybody who's using it, you know, is like a tech pro. Like, just back away from my technology.
So when you look at Windows is kind of like more customizable, and there's a lot of risk with Windows, because I know people say Windows are like prone to viruses and everything. And when you look at iOS is like, when I think of iOS, I think of people who have like careers in like media and stuff. Like you'd use all your coding with not code, I'm sorry, your video editing with iOS. Mm-hmm. Mind you, I have a fucking MacBook right here, MacBook Air. I barely use it.
I switched between two for years and years and years, because I had Mac at home and I had Windows for my work. And so I was switching between the two constantly. So I'm very pro at both at this point in terms of like just using consumer. I'm not a tech pro. And they both have advantages and disadvantages, and neither is right. They're both good for different purposes. Like you said, like I prefer video editing on Apple personally.
But why is that?
Well, first of all, I like Final Cut Pro, and I think that the user experience is like, even though it has like it's falling behind the other editing software in terms of like having features, I like the way that Mac functions. I like the way that they set up. Like I changed some of the buttons anyway, and now I'm using controller. But like for instance, like DaVinci, I remember like opening it on my PC and being like, this doesn't make any sense. And then I opened up Final Cut Pro, and they're very similar, but there were like, I can't really explain it.
It just felt easier then.
It felt easier to figure out, and I'm not trying to become like the editing expert right off or in general, but like it just felt easier to figure out. It's like they thought about the user experience more. With anything Apple, they think about the user experience more, and not that like the others don't, but they want to open it up for more customization, more features, for instance, so they can more easily add features, I think, versus Apple's kind of let Final Cut Pro go at this point, I guess, and they're not really updating it. But it's probably harder to update too, because they made it like a really good user experience, if that makes sense. So I personally prefer it, and I just think it feels more comfortable like within it than, say, when I see somebody's what's it called, like Adobe timeline. I'm like, why do you have so much stuff? Like all I need to do is make little clips, add in some things, the transitions, and recolor, and like fix the sound, and then put in some little additions and like B-roll. Like I don't need all of this complexity, right?
So I agree with you. So like when I make like a little bit like bullshit movies on my MacBook, or like my iPhone, it's very simple. I feel like a child, because it like everything is just there. It's very simple. But when I edit like some of my like videos on like Platinum Pro, Vegas for my PC, there's just so much, and it's so much. It's overwhelming.
And
at times. It's very
so
overwhelming.
Much more simplified too. Like for instance,
same thing with Adobe.
Like for captions, I'm using a software that has a watermark right now because I have the PC version and I tried to upload my 3-minute video yesterday to get captions on it and it would not upload for whatever reason. I use their app. It's called Veed. And so I tried on the PC version. I accidentally have the PC version because I didn't cancel the membership. It was like, well, I have use case for it. It's fine. And then the app version I do not have, but it like did it in a few seconds. It was done in like a minute and it had the captions ready to go. So, that's so much simpler than going into, say, Final Cut Pro and having to type them out or, do it on a, desktop software where it's not going to upload properly. It's like anything that you're doing on a desktop PC can have more issues, it feels like. It's like apps just make things more streamlined and generally work better. I don't know why. Yeah. I'm not a tech expert, but that seems to be the case for these things, and that translates to consoles too. It's like when the apps are built for that specific platform and they're built for a specific use case, that's going to work better than something that's trying to do everything all at once, just generally because it's built for that specific use case.
Yeah, when you look at like you said, iOS, Windows, and Linux, it's all what's preference towards the user and what is very user interface friendly. Going back to like video software editing programs and even like Adobe. Remember Adobe Photoshop? You could like buy the version and that's it. You're done.
So I would have maybe done like if Adobe allowed you to purchase, I maybe would have tried it.
They used to allow you to purchase. I remember Adobe Photoshop and all this stuff they had it was a one-time buy and that was it. And then if they got a new version, you buy that new version. Now it's just like, fuck you, every year you need to pay this amount of money or like $30 a month. So
and that doesn't make sense for creators a lot of the time, especially if you're thinking about, I mean, it just depends. You have to think about your why with any purchase, and a lot of people don't. They're just like, oh, this is cheaper, or oh, this is what my friend is using. They need to think about their own use cases. So for me, I was trying to get investments done up front so that I wouldn't have to worry about as much when I quit my job. So that was like my goal, so I could then buy myself time to do everything I wanted to do. And so the last thing I wanted was a bunch of memberships that were going to bog me down. And even when I do memberships, I try to do more like, personally, I do like annual most of the time. It saves you money and then you can plan ahead for it and all this stuff. So it's just, I don't like having a lot of stuff coming out each month. I want to be able to handle it a little bit more easily.
Do you use, do you use Rocket Money?
No.
You don't use Rocket Money?
No.
Rocket Money is like, this is not an ad, but it's like a program that's completely fucking free, and it manages all your subscriptions.
No,
I
manage all mine. I go through each year. Like Veed had hit before I started doing it last year, but nonetheless, I had bought it for a purpose, and so I still needed the purpose, but I was kind of thinking about trying other softwares, so it still fulfills the purpose. I just would have maybe done something different, and I canceled it right after so that it won't hit this year. But
I use Rocket Money for managing like subscriptions and stuff.
No, I don't want anybody to have. I don't want anybody to have my data like that. Like it's just kind of scary to have everything logged into different places. So I do it on my own, and I'm actually building like a budgeting tool that can hopefully help other people eventually as I am learning all this. Because I used to literally my job was building budgeting tools for corporations.
Yeah.
So that's what I do for myself. I have like Excel spreadsheets out the butt. Like just I'm talking like for my taxes because everybody should set up a business before they even start streaming, in my opinion. If you're gonna spend fucking $9 million on fucking Elgato shit, just spend the fucking $200 to $400 it takes for an LLC and pay a fucking accountant. Stop with all this nonsense. Like, just do that, and you will save yourself so much headache. Open the business account, open the business credit card. Stop with the bullshit. If I had done that from the beginning, it'd be so much better. It was such a pain.
You're gonna go off on a tangent. Wait, hold on. We'll get to that.
It's important.
We'll get to that. Let's dial it back.
Yeah.
Go back.
It's crazy. Like I've had so many headaches going through my personal credit card statement and my personal bank account and my personal stuff, trying to dig through and find the business expenses and find the business income. It's a pain. Just set it up from the beginning.
But let's take it back to like, you using the fucking programs to edit and stuff. I forgot. I screwed up.
I just wanted like one expense be done, and so I mean it was $300 versus like we're talking what $30 to $50 a month.
Yes.
for Adobe.
Yes.
So we're talking like thousands of dollars a year versus a $300 payment one time. Now, if you really need the extra stuff because you're like a professional video editor, or you want to be, do it. Like invest in it, do your monthly thing, right? Or you just have a lot of funds, go for it. Like think about your why. So if those are your whys, do Adobe or do, figure out the other one. DaVinci, even though it's free, supposedly there's some things it does better, like coloring or something. So, but I would say generally, if you're trying to save money and you want things optimized, Final Cut Pro on a Mac, because you're not going to have, like, every time that I would get on my PC or like my little laptop for work, there were always things going wrong. It's like, oh, it needs an update. Okay. Like Mac never does that to you.
Well,
And
it depends.
my program's like never freeze. The only time that it starts to like get bogged down is just because I haven't like turned it off in a while. That's it. Like it doesn't have the issues that a Windows would, where everything would just like start screwing up and programs would start getting messed up and you'd have to like get rid of them and re-download them. That only happens on Windows. I've never had it happen on Mac.
Yes, and like you got to be careful because some programs are fucking corrupted.
Yeah, that happens so much less on Mac.
And you got to get an antivirus software and all this stuff. And you got to buy those separately, and then it's I feel like Mac is just like it's idiot proof.
Yeah,
it's idiot proof.
And then
that's what I say.
like
it's very
and it's meant for
because
creatives in a lot of ways. Like think about like the I have the, what's it called? Not trackpad, what is that called? The little, you can like just do this. Do you know what I'm talking about? I can go grab it.
Trackpad?
Is it a trackpad? Yeah.
It's a
so
trackpad.
I use that in tandem with my controller when I'm doing stuff, and the keyboard. So I kind of jump around all three depending on what I'm doing. But
the hell?
Yeah, see, you can see the controller back there, and my one of my keyboards. I have two keyboards for different things back there. One is for writing, and one is for editing because it's more button pressy, and the other one's more like. I'm very specific about my efficiency, just like how I actually have. You're about to make fun of me. I have two mice, one for each hand. Efficiency.
Why?
Because I'm ambidextrous and I can.
Oh, you fucking weirdo.
Yeah.
I was gonna call you a freak. But
so part of it was when I used to do Excel so much in corporate finance, I would want to use the arrow keys. And if you're using this, you're like over here trying to use the arrow keys, or you're moving the keyboard over here and you can't reach all the other keys.
What?
So this is like so I can use my right hand fully for
what
arrow
are you
keys
talking
and
about?
typing stuff
What does that mean?
while I'm
Wait,
clicking
hold on.
around. Efficiency.
What do you mean you gotta with the arrow keys, dude? The arrow keys is literally like if you're right-handed, it's you move to your right, and the arrow keys you move to your left. The arrow keys are right there, and you can go back to your mouse and keyboard.
Okay,
why
so
are
let's say
you
that you're
crisscrossing
doing.
yourself?
Let's say that
Why are you crisscrossing?
No, not crisscrossing. If I'm doing Excel with left and right hands the right way, like this, I would need to be over here for the arrow keys, or I'd have to move the keyboard over.
Wait.
Versus if you're doing this, you're right here. It's much more natural and much more comfortable when you're doing that all day. And then you can move over when you need to type stuff real quick. And you can move both hands to type. Versus like when you're over, hold on, I just did something. When you're over here, it's different.
Dude, what are you doing at Excel? Were you like fucking hacking the Pentagon?
That was what the main part of my job was. I was going through and improving Excel spreadsheets. I was going through some that had millions and millions of cells. I'm like, not even exact. Like we're talking spreadsheets that had tabs out for the rest of your life, and then like hundreds of thousands of rows. And I was having to like manipulate things within them and make them process better and try to rebuild things that were connected to other spreadsheets. And it was like, that was my whole job was improving processes most of the time, or going through and like looking through data and trying to figure out like what that data is saying, and like then reporting on it and building spreadsheets that then output to the things for your visualization tools, building these big back end like flat data structures to fit into it was like that's what I did all day. It was like being in Excel and using arrow keys and mouse all at the same time.
Stay away from Mad because she has two keyboards and mice, and her fucking setup probably looks like a fucking hacker's delight. How many screens do you have?
4. I have 4 here and 1 back there.
Do it.
And I use them all. Okay, so this one's vertical. Actually, here, the first one over here has my Go XLR software on it, my mixer software.
Okay.
When I'm playing a game, I move my OBS over here. so I can mess with
Okay.
OBS stuff. It's kind of like my side screen for anything I need to do over there. Then I've got my vertical monitor right here, right under the camera, where I read my chat. Then I've got the main, where my OBS is right now, and where the
Okay.
game is when I'm gaming. It's my gaming. It's like curved, but also 1440 and beautiful, and it's I love it. And then this one over here was actually my work, my work one that I put up here, and they let me keep when I quit. 'Cause-
Okay, Minority Report. Oh, you're just sitting
so
there like
this one does the browser. So especially now that I've been multi-streaming, this like holds one of the chats until I get them all combined, and I'll have two stacked on top of each other on the vertical right now. But even before I was multi-streaming, this is where my browser was to make sure that stream is functioning properly, and whenever I need to look stuff up or anything else that I need is like on this monitor. Especially like I have Mix It Up going, I have stream avatars going, I have the stream labels, I have if I have something for Steam or like the Stream Deck that everybody has, like Spotify, that's where my music is sitting. All of that is like on this monitor most of the time. I need 4. I don't know how people function with like 2. Like, what do they do when they're gaming, man? Where's all their other stuff? They can't see their own stream.
Let me break it down for you as a simple man with two monitors. When I game here, streaming stuff here.
Where's the chat?
That's the chat is in the same window. Chat's right there.
Nah.
You mean not? Well, you need a whole separate fucking thing
Yes.
for chat.
Yes, because
Why?
I am like reading chat. Like you did well. A lot of people don't do as well at reading. Like when you were in boss battles, you were chatting pretty well while you were in boss battles. But a lot of people are not good at that like level of multitasking when they've got like when the chat isn't like I have the chat fully focused here, and sometimes I have like back when I didn't have multi-streaming, I would have a second version of my chat right here, and I could see all of that. So it was like the stream manager on Twitch, so I could see the chat here too. So I was getting in both peripherals so I could easily like chat with barely taking my eyes off the actual game.
Well, yeah, it's just a quick glance. Like, I
like
don't know.
if
You-
anybody
I don't
looks
know,
through my
bro.
streams and they see how fast I am at like answering most of the time, like I can have full-blown conversations while gaming like for 12 hours straight because I make it very easy for myself to see chat.
Well, yeah, but at the end of the day, I don't need fucking 4 screens, dude. You
I do.
have 4 screens.
I do.
Dude, okay.
Listen, right now, for instance, I'm only not using one of them because we're recording. We don't have a chat. But right now,
If you had a chat, you had a whole screen.
yeah. Yeah, I don't understand how people are doing it with just an OBS plugin. Then it's like very small. Like you can't even, absolutely
No,
not.
what are you talking? Because you.
And then you can't see
you heard it.
yourself. Like
Yes, you
no, I've got to have control over the situation, the scenes.
I can tell you're like very. You're Minority Report. You're over there like the
Yeah.
chat's right here and stuff.
Yeah.
All right, moving on because it's like I'm just gonna make fun of you for like an hour.
Nah, you can go ahead.
about
And
how-
over there's a big widescreen monitor for editing because I
Oh,
realized
she got widescreen and
yeah,
stuff.
well, because when you have a timeline and you're going across it like with that much stuff, like having a not widescreen just doesn't work very well. But that's
Well.
like I got everything for my use cases and I use it every day. That's like what that boils down to. Versus like nobody like else who doesn't have the same use cases as me would necessarily need 4 monitors. It's just like what you're comfortable with and what you think you will use more. Like I use my 4 monitors more than I use the Stream Deck. I don't think I should have purchased the Stream Deck personally. I think it's
So,
mostly
okay.
a waste of money for most people.
So that's where we go into the next thing. So we're gonna
Wait, I
let's
did
talk
have
about
one more
like
thought about the PS5 before we move
Okay,
too
go
far
ahead,
in
go ahead,
because
go ahead.
we kind of left it. The PS5, most people are falling for marketing. Most people are not realizing what PS5 is doing, what Sony's doing, and they're just falling for marketing. And most people are not thinking about what they're actually doing.
What do you mean by that?
If you look at the prices for the PlayStation Original, PlayStation Slim, and the PlayStation Pro, they're experimenting, and people are falling for it. And Sony's taken notes, and they're deciding where they're going to go next and how they're going to be able to price. And people are falling right for it. And it's not about like they're not realizing that it's not about them. It's about what Sony's trying to do.
Yeah.
Consumers don't think about the business, and I do because I worked on the business side for so long. And so
why
the
would
way that
consumer
I
think
make
about the business?
purchases, because when you think about the motivation of the person selling to you, you can understand better if that product is for you.
But again, you have to be in that space. So me and you, we're in that space.
Yep.
Because I mean,
Other people
you're
can
more
learn to
like,
do it though. You know, it's not that
but
hard.
it's not. But again, we see it every day.
Yeah. Well,
Even with people talking about if you, it's like people were talking about the paying minimum wage. Like, oh, if you own a company or business, you should be able to pay your employees X amount of dollars. Like, it doesn't work like that, dumb. Like, it's how it's the
it's a
business
very
is
complex
money is
system.
marketed.
Yeah.
It's a whole system.
Yeah.
So with Sony, like you said, it's they're seeing a trend, they're seeing how it works, and then whatever works. Because we went from like, it's always been like $300, $400, $500, $700. It's always been that way. I hold on, wait. I'm gonna get pissed off right now. Some of you motherfuckers have a Steam Deck. How much does a fucking Steam Deck cost?
Isn't
The
it like
top one.
400, 500, somewhere around there?
$500 for
Yeah.
a handheld. You're paying $500 for a fucking PC in your hand.
And yet they're complaining about the PlayStation. It's crazy, dude.
And like, I can't stand some of you fucking people because you spend $500 to $600 on a fucking handheld version of a PC.
Now the thing is, if that's what they want, like personally, I don't see a lot of value in it. Except I've thought about getting one just so that I can run games on it if it runs well as like having a gaming PC, more or less, and so I don't have to run my Steam. Like I've thought about it, and I might do it still, instead of having to run Steam games on my PC, because when I run Steam games on my PC and I'm streaming, it'll start to like glitch out when I'm transitioning to the game. And then I hate the like going from full screen to streaming. I don't know how anybody games and streams on one PC and has a good time. I don't know how you do it, but I'm always clicking around. Like I'll have, if my chat's like busy, like going wild and I have to scroll up and down, like I need to be able to do that. Or like if I need to do like, not that like I have good mods, but like if I need to do something moderation wise and type in the chat for whatever reason, then like, you know, or if let's say somebody redeems something, I need to click on something, like that's impossible while you're gaming. You have to like click out of it. It's a mess.
But I mean, it's not that hard, man. I'm gonna keep telling you, it's not that hard.
It's not
because-
optimized. You could have an optimized experience instead, like with the console. And so like with the Steam Deck, I would have it coming in through a capture card as a different system, right? And I could do that with like a second PC too. But like,
so you would plug the Steam Deck
Right.
in and then do all that stuff.
it would
But the
just
Steam Deck
function
is-
as the gaming
but-
source,
but-
so that because having the capture card makes it so that it's not functioning on my actual PC and interrupting all the other processes I'm doing.
Well, listen. So, and close the statement with the PS5 Pro.
Wait, so the point of me saying the different price tiers and all of that, and the way that they're messing with marketing, is the disk drive situation. A lot of people are misreading the disk drive situation. They're like, they took away my disk drive. I'm so upset and they suck. Dude, it's the same options you've had since the fucking PS5 OG. It's like PS5 versus PS5 digital. PS5 Slim versus PS5 Slim Digital. Now they've just moved the default to PS5
So it's
Pro being the
digital.
digital version, but it's the same two fucking options, and it's less than in the OG, because if you compare prices, PS5 OG is $100 more than the digital version. Slim is actually the best deal for people who want the non-digital. They want like with a disk drive, because it's only $50 more. Technically. Now it's the same price as the OG, but it's technically, if you're looking at the price difference between that and digital, it's only $50.
Yes.
Now, if you're looking at the PS5 Pro, it's $80. Still less than the original $100 difference. And you can say, oh, it doesn't have the stand. Fine. But neither of those had the stand. So that's still an equal amount. And it's still going to be a $100 difference versus an $80 difference. You're actually having a better difference between the disk drive version and the not disk drive version by $20. You're complaining because they marketed it differently and you can't fucking use your brain about it. I'm so mad. People are just not fucking seeing it.
And the reason they're going the default as digital is because they're starting to see physical copies are not beneficial. Because let's be honest, how many of you fuckers actually get off your asses, drive or walk down to your local GameStop or Best Buy or wherever you buy your physical copies from? How many of you guys actually do that? Who still goes to midnight releases? Those things are dying out. Physical copies, Wukong doesn't have a physical copy. It's just a code.
Look how
It's
big it
digital.
is.
Everything is digital.
Yeah.
And it's like, they're starting to see, all these companies are looking to see in the trend, like everybody's doing download. Because you know why? It's midnight. I could just go on my computer and play, right? I don't have to get up. I don't have to stand in line. I have to deal with people because everybody in 2024 now is somehow antisocial and they can't be around people in crowds now. It's too much. It's easier for me to be, okay, the game comes out on midnight tonight. I'll download it. I'll get the same stuff, the same perks, the same add-ons and stuff. That's it. Yes, I get it. Some people like physical copies because you know why? If something ever happens or the world goes to the end, you have that physical disc, right? But at the end of the day, everybody's bitching saying that, you know, why are we paying $70 for
Can we be honest for a
digital
second?
game?
It's kind of like doomsday prepping of the gaming space. They're like, well, if the world fucking ends, I still have my physical games. It's like, bro, relax.
But the thing is like, these gaming companies are seeing everything. And if you're bitching about everything being digital and you have a PC, there's no fucking disk drive in your PC unless you build your PC to have a disk drive. There's none anymore because even all the new towers you buy don't have a slot for a disk drive.
Exactly. And they're comparing them to
don't.
PCs nonstop. It's funny because you see the PC people who are like, pro PC consoles suck. And you see the people who are like, I love consoles, but I'm mad they don't have a disk drive. And they're like in agreement, except they aren't in agreement. And you see
Because
them like
people are
bonding over the
fucking brain
shared
dead.
hate of it really is like, I hate saying brain dead and that whole like fucking slang, but it really is fucking brain dead. Like if
It
you
is.
think about
You're
it for
smooth
2
brain.
goddamn seconds, PCs killed physical games a long time ago. Like they don't come with it. They don't even have the option for most games. Physical games exist in console space, and so people who like physical games and like collecting, those people are probably console players because they can still get
Yes.
physical games. And that's a valid reason to want a physical game. You want your shelves of your games because you're a collector, go for it. More power to you. That's a motivation. Some people like it. I like real books. I understand. It's a thing. Now, the people who are doing it just because they want to doomsday prep, like maybe relax. But the people who are doing it because they love it, enjoy your thing because you love it, right? But they haven't taken it from you. It's the same fucking thing as the
You
PS5
just
Pro
have to-
and the PS5 Pro Digital. You just have to screw the fucking thing in. Like fucking, and it's $20
Dude, and that makes
cheaper. It's still there.
Dude, and that makes the system customizable because to add on the fucking CD drive, it's like you pop this off, pop that in, and it's done. You pay okay, it's $80 more. Okay, you fuckers forget that during the fucking dark ages of gaming and media consumption, you had to buy additional add-on for the fucking, I forgot what Xbox iteration. You had to buy like the Blu-ray add-on for that.
Well, and there's
Even
like a million different
GameCube-
things we've had to do.
GameCube
Like
even had an add-on for that.
like for instance, Xbox makes you put batteries in the thing, right? And then you've got the old gaming consoles where you had to get memory cards to save your games. There's been a million
Yes.
different things we've had to do to these things forever. And like if you want a disk drive, it's still there and it's cheaper than it would have been otherwise. They would have made the thing over probably $800 instead of $700. And there wouldn't have been an option. Now you have a $700 option, an $800 option, and they did that because they knew a lot of people are like based on data are buying digital copies of games. So they said, okay, well, why don't we give them the option to just buy digital games like we have been doing, but make it the default and allow people modular updates. And let's test that out and see if people like modular updates. And people are like, fuck no, you took away my disk drive. No, they gave you to you as a modular update to test if that would be something you'd like people love on PCs, for instance. And you said no, overwhelmingly so, because you're fucking not using your brain and saying, oh, it's the same thing. It's just marketed differently. I'm like so mad because I just don't understand how people don't fucking see
To
it.
move on from the PlayStation 5, you got the money, buy it. You don't, shut the fuck up. Move on. Next topic, because we're gonna stay in the PlayStation 5.
I know.
Okay, so moving on, we're gonna start talking about like devices and even conventions. So when you're looking at a lot of devices and everything out there in the market, especially when it comes to like streaming and content creating, you're looking at like the different brands out there and their price points are freaking ridiculous. The most notorious company is Elgato. Elgato is, I call it the Jordans of the gaming world.
I kind of see
Why?
it as the Apple
Because
too.
I see more Jordans because the thing is with Apple, people are kind of like, okay, I could kind of have the same thing. Like, I mean, Apple is Apple. You have a very dedicated group to Apple, but when it comes to like gaming stuff, you talk to any streamer, they go, "What type of capture card you have?" They'll go Elgato, because
Yeah.
Elgato is like a name brand in the fucking industry.
The name brand thing is like Jordan's. For me, I think the reason I compare it to Apple is because the technology all talks to each other. And so that's where I
Yes.
can see like, oh, you want the ecosystem that talks to each other. You can kind of run it together. The light is obviously going to be optimized for you to click on the button or whatever from your Stream Deck, like that kind of stuff.
Correct.
Yeah.
So Elgato has a ridiculous price point with their stuff, and it's crazy.
I'm personally mad at Elgato. I want a fucking refund on my capture card. It ruined my PC for 9 months. My PC would shut itself off because of their fucking drivers.
Now, mind you, people think Elgato is very easy and user friendly. No, the fuck it's not. Sometimes they make you download all these other programs, and they have to, like you said, have to talk to each other. And if you don't know how they talk to each other correctly, they won't sync up. And if you don't have the right update and everything, and it seems like every time you get one Elgato thing, like the Steam Deck, guess what they do 2 months later? Oh, we have a bigger Steam Deck. Because you guys complain.
They just keep doing it over and over.
You can't afford a Steam Deck. You could put it on your phone, but you gotta pay for the fucking
$2.99 app.
You got no, dude.
Yeah, it's $2.99 a month.
Are you fucking serious?
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, we could look it up to be sure, but I'm pretty sure it's $2.99
dude,
a month.
I'm not gonna sit here and say I don't use Elgato stuff. I have an Elgato capture card. You know why? Because when I was starting out streaming, that's what it was. And then I got a Steam Deck. Now
I'm trying to get rid of my Elgato shit, slowly but surely.
Are there ways to get rid of? I'm not saying. Are there cheaper versions of Elgato capture cards? Yes. The Ava Media Live.
That's what I use.
Duo. That's fine. There's things on fucking Amazon that's like way cheaper.
Yeah.
Than Elgato.
I thought about doing it, but with capture card, I didn't want to skimp because that's
my
the
video
game,
capture
right?
card.
Yeah.
The capture card I'm using right now for my video, that's fucking a $20 HDMI 4K.
Yeah, and those can work really well. I was nervous and I wanted internal, so I have like a 3 PC slot motherboard specifically so I could have my internal capture card. So I had the, like I said, the Elgato, and it like just turned off my computer for like 9 months randomly during stream. Sometimes it would happen like a dozen times during stream. Happened during hype trains. Like I lost money because of this thing. I'm so mad at it. I'm so mad at it.
Do not get me wrong. Some of this stuff is very convenient. Like the Steam Deck, the Stream Deck, it's very convenient to have all that stuff lined up.
But you can have it for free. I did for a long time because I was using Streamlabs. And people shit on Streamlabs. But I had my iPad over here on a stand. I still have the stand right here. I use it for certain things here and there still. And I used the Streamlabs app to change my scenes and do everything there. And I could even see my chat. So it was easy for me to come over there and be able to... To this day, I still miss it because I could change from my coffee scene over there to come back over here. Now I have to go back and forth more times when I'm bringing my coffee over here versus when I had it on the actual app and I could see my chat and have the buttons.
Yeah, but with the Steam Deck, you could also have the screen transitions, the mutes, the sounds and all that stuff. But the thing is, like when I started using it and like getting into it, I had to like watch videos to understand it. Because to have to make sure when you press the sound or press the button, the sound changes, the screen changes, and does all that stuff and goes back. It was a lot.
Well, if you have a very like interactive stream, it can be very, very helpful. And I think if you're focused on like the tech side and you want to do cool, fun transitions and cool, fun things, like the Stream Deck can be very valuable. I think it is. But for people like me who are just focused on gaming and chatting, like I used to do all that. That used to be part of my whole thing. I was putting on a show, more or less.
Exactly.
Then I stopped doing that and I was like, I just want to game and entertain people with gaming and my gaming thoughts. I'm done with all that. I don't care. Like that's just not me. Like I don't want to do that all the time. It's tiring. I don't want to be somebody's puppet with the channel point redemptions telling me to fucking drink. Leave me alone. Like and so but if you like that, the Stream Deck is great for that, right? And so that's, I think they're like, nobody has really competed with that well. I've kind of looked into it.
But the price point is ridiculous.
The price points they have is ridiculous. For starting, like...
I have an Elgato fucking green screen that goes up and down, right? That cost me like $200. I could have bought a cheap one for fucking $20 probably. are way cheaper. But the thing is, I did buy a cheap one. It was $80, and when I opened the box, it broke.
I think some of their hardware can work kind of well. I have the green screen for them as well. I have one that just hangs up over there too. You can kind of see it. But I have the one from Elgato that stands up, and it works really well. And I'm glad that I got that one specifically, because if I'd gotten a cheaper one, it probably would have already broken. Because I will have like half of it on like my rug in like the thing I stand on in the kitchen, because I do my coffee scenes over there, and I also use it for gaming occasionally. So it's good to be able to move it around and get it the fuck out of my kitchen too.
Dude, the price point is crazy. Aviar Media capture card, like an external one.
Yeah.
Guess how much it costs?
I want to say around 70 to 100.
$70.
Yeah. Wow, I nailed it.
An Elgato capture card?
Like 150 to 200.
$157.
On it. Look at me with the pricing. We should do prices right.
$157. Dude, it does the same shit.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so
again, it's the price point. It's the prices, and it's so ridiculous. But the thing is, a lot of you guys won't buy the AVR Media.
Just buy starter stuff if you aren't sure.
No, you can't.
But
you can't buy it. You know why you can't buy the hot starter stuff? Because that's not what the big streamers uses. Fucking Ninja doesn't use that.
But I will say,
Pokemon
I don't recommend always
that.
doing that. Like, if you know you're going to try to make it a business, like if you're in it to win it and you like have a YouTube idea, maybe you have a business and you're trying to start a YouTube channel surrounding that business so you can put like sell products that you have, and you know for sure you're doing this, like just go ahead and buy the good stuff, right? Like buy the good stuff. But the good stuff's not necessarily Elgato.
Yeah, but you got to go all in. No, listen, if you're going to go all in, balls to the wall with streaming, I don't recommend putting billions, like thousands of dollars, putting yourself in financial deficit.
No.
With all the good stuff. You start small and you work your way up.
Well, you have to know your goals in your own situation. And so what a lot of people don't do with their finances is think about their why. And that's the most important thing you can do, is think about your why, think about what you have. And like a lot of people will buy stuff and not think about like everything that you invest in terms of your business, which streaming is a business if you are making money, period. I don't care if you're making $10.
Are the business.
You are a business.
That's very important.
If you're wanting to make money streaming and you aren't thinking about every single thing that you purchase and how it's going to have a return on that investment, you are not doing it correctly. And that's what people do. Like, they'll be like, I don't have money to sub to anyone. I don't have, not that that's a problem. Like, give your money where you want to. Or they'll say, I don't have money to buy the game. I don't have money to do this. But then they drop like $3,000 on Elgato shit. Like, I see that all the time. People are like, I just don't have enough money to stream. I'm not making much. And they're like buying every new Elgato product.
So here's something you guys got to understand from two people who are in the business. I don't have myself as an LLC, but I am in the process of doing that. But here's the thing. Here's something funny. When you stream for Twitch and you become an affiliate, you are a 1099 worker for them. Okay? You're a freelance. You're kind of like, you're 1099. Yep. You get a 1099 at the end of the year, right? When you make money, right?
You get two types of 1099s, actually.
I only get one. What type do you get? What the fuck?
Two. You better look at the tax forms. There's two.
Okay, so I get a 1099, okay? You get a 1099 at the end of the year from Twitch.
Yeah.
If you make $50 to $700, you're going to get it from Twitch, okay? When you do your taxes, right? I pay somebody to do my taxes, right? Because I could do that.
You should.
Even
as a finance professional, I have an accountant, and I had one before I even went into the business. Like, I had one as a corporate finance employee.
So, as a lot of you people do, and this is not for streamers. This is for OnlyFans models and anybody who just does shit on their own freelance, right? No one puts away money to pay the taxes. You have to pay, correct me if I'm wrong, it's 40% of everything you make on taxes, right?
No.
What
there are people who think like self-employment and then 15%. People are not.
It's 40.
Bro.
Is it 40? It's 40. Bro. It's 40%.
There are like a million different things you can do to not do that.
Okay, but wait, that's what I'm trying to get to. Like, you have to pay the government 40% of what you make. Like, you have to pay 40%.
If you're doing that, you're doing it wrong, especially when you're starting out. Like, later on, sure, when you're like a thriving, successful corporation, yeah, okay, go for it. As a startup, if you were paying 40% in taxes, 15% self-employment, and you're not playing the game as a startup by reinvesting all of your earnings, you are making a mistake, man.
Well,
and
okay.
reinvesting can be paying yourself too.
What I'm trying to get at, Miss, I'm a big time businesswoman. is that you have to, people get all this money and they forget that they got to give Uncle Sam his cut. Okay, so they don't put money away, so they get fucked. They're like, oh shit, I don't have this money to pay.
So
like, how am I
sad.
gonna pay this? So here's what you have to do. You, sir, ma'am, person, human, you are the product. You are a business. Did you buy a camera with your stream? Are you paying the internet to stream these things? Did you have to buy a new outfit for your stream? Did you have to buy new games and parts? Those are all write-offs.
Okay, but I have a caveat to that, because they are, and they can be. But a lot of people will buy things and then justify them as write-offs. I had someone say it in chat the other day. They're like, well, I would buy the PS5 Pro if it was a write-off. That's not necessarily how you should be going about it. It's just buying things to have write-offs. You need to buy things that you're actually going to use for your business. So let's say that you're buying a PS5 Pro to just play offline. That's not a business expense just because you use it like for 5 minutes on your stream. You should only be writing off that amount. And a lot of people don't think about that. So
you have to put it as electronic, though.
As a business expense that is used for your business primarily, that's a different story. And think about the return on investment. So let's say that you get a PS5 Pro, right? And you're like, this is my business expense. Now I can make write-offs for everything that I make. If you made $300 this year and you spent $700 on a PS5, you've made a mistake. You know what I mean?
No way, but no, you could offset that. Like that's what I usually. Well,
but
depends.
Is it return on investment? Because you didn't make any fucking money. Think
yeah,
about
but
it. What if instead you had bought a better camera and some lighting, and then people actually wanted to watch your videos instead of the PS5 Pro when you already have a console? Like, think about that. Like, versus spending on something that's not going to directly correspond to you making money. Buy something that's going to more directly correspond to you making money, or like props so that you can do incentives for an event. Or
well, sometimes the government did. So what I was told by my tax person was like, if you are doing this stuff, right, as a 1099 worker, right, especially streaming, and you're just like, you're not making real money, and you always have you always spend more than you make. Like, I think after like the third year, the government that says this is just a fucking hobby. We're not paying you, we're not cutting you slack anymore. So for me, what is written off as the games I buy, my Spotify, because I need music when I'm listening to gaming, my internet, and then whatever parts. And then I could also put on like business trips. So when I go to conventions, like I could write that off because it's to promote and stuff. And mind you, streaming is not my only source of revenue. I also am a freelance instructor.
right.
So I could throw that in there and say like, oh wait, I did this because when I have some clients, they pay me with a check and they make me fill out a W-9. So I have to like put that in there. So I could lump that all in. And then I have my day job and like everything gets lumped in.
Well,
But I'm speaking mainly as a content creator, and some of you people want to go full time with this stuff. You have to make sure you're spending the money right. And as Matt said, you need to make yourself an LLC. Open yourself as a business. It doesn't cost that much to make an LLC. How much does it cost to open up an LLC? Like,
it depends. I think you can do
$300?
it for yourself like $200 to $300. If you get an accountant, they'll do it for like $400. Depending, you can maybe get an accountant who will do it for less. It just depends. But
Yeah.
somewhere between 2 and 4 is a general.
Yeah.
5 if it's like really complicated.
And then you have to be smart about, you have to manage your money. We're not sitting here saying open up LLC, get a business credit card, and fucking go
But here's
crazy.
the thing, right? Like opportunity cost. So somebody could either get the newest console, right, or get the newest Elgato products, or they could open a business. A business is going to save them money, and a lot of people only think about revenue when they're starting a business. They're like, "Oh, I made $100, or oh, I made $1,000." How much did you save? How much did you save yourself money? Because if you're paying 40% in that in taxes instead of building yourself a proper system, if you're having to spend hours and hours and hours digging through all of your data to find those at the end of the year, think about starting a business, opening an account, making a business credit card. Those things are much more valuable for both your time and your cost savings, because revenue minus expenses equals profit, and you're just focused on revenue. This is going to be much more profitable for your business to focus on expenses when you have high expenses and not much revenue.
Exactly. And you got to make sure you're doing the stuff the right way. Again, I want to be very clear. we are not experts. We are not
Tax experts.
We're speaking from our
accountants.
own experiences. And the reason I'm saying like write things off, because I was doing my taxes one year, and the lady who was doing my taxes, she was like, I see you still have something for Twitch, right? I was like, yeah. She was like, oh, my grandson uses that. Do you buy games? I'm like, yes. She was like, you stream the games, right? I was like, yes. Why aren't you writing that off? I was like, okay. Can I write off for when I went to TwitchCon? She's like, what's TwitchCon? I was like, it's kind of like where you meet and greet, and you kind of market yourself. She's like, did you do that? I was like, yeah. That's a write-off. That's a business expense. So she assisted me, and this was a tax person, and when I went to the tax person, they audit protect me and all that stuff. But like, it's crazy how so many people, especially streamers, who spend, especially when they go to TwitchCon, you're spending sometimes $3,000 plus.
Yeah. I have a feeling
That's
most
flight,
people who
hotel, food, stickers, and all the swag you want to fucking give to people or buy. You're spending all that money, right? And then you come back from TwitchCon, and then you have to grind your ass off to make that money back. Or some people sit there and like, I can't afford my rent because I spent all this money on TwitchCon. Well, you shouldn't have went to TwitchCon.
Yeah.
But I'm not
So
gonna tell you
we see people going to
your money.
TwitchCon, then investing thousands in their setup, and then complaining about money. You can't do that. It's just irresponsible. It's like all of these are opportunity costs. And I see it time and time again where they're like, I want to grow my stream, I want to grow my stream, I want to grow my stream. You are going to grow your stream a million different ways for free before going to TwitchCon. Just make some videos, post on social media, create value for people, create more entertainment value in some way or create value in another way. But going to TwitchCon and dropping thousands of dollars to meet like 3 people who might come to your stream is not gonna fucking help your stream, bro. And you might be like,
that's mean.
It's
That's
true,
fucking
though.
mean.
If people are going and
To
they're
meet
like, well,
3
I'm gonna
people.
meet like 300 people and like 3 of them will show up to my stream and I'll make a couple new friends, and you just drop thousands for that instead of just making better fucking content, you've wasted your money. If that was your goal, if you want to go to hang out with people, that's different. But if you're going primarily to be like, this is going to build my stream, you're full of it.
No, well,
Unless you're at a certain level with a specific type of thing in mind. You're not like, you're just gonna get other streamers in your stream. I don't know. It's just, I have a lot of thoughts on that.
So it goes into I'm gonna play devil's advocate as somebody who goes to TwitchCon and is going next weekend.
Okay.
So when I went my first year, I marketed myself. I was meeting streamers and freaking businesses and marketing myself. I had a business card and everything, and I had an elevator pitch. Some of you guys don't have fucking elevator pitches. And what an elevator pitch is, you have 60 seconds to tell them who you are, what you're about, and why they should watch or sponsor your stream. Okay? And then you guys will get their business card, and you take their business card, give them yours, and when you have their business cards, you get back home and you throw it somewhere, right? You don't send a follow-up email saying, hey, it was good talking to you. I just want to refresh your memory. I am XYZ. We spoke about this ABC. I'm interested in working with your company. Please let me know if it's possible, right? You guys don't do that. I know a lot of you guys don't fucking do that. Because when I ask you guys about if you do that, you guys don't do that. So when I went to TwitchCon, I did all that. I made a lot of good connections, made a lot of good people, got some sponsorships and affiliates and everything. And that's it. Was I financially stable to do all that? Yes. But some of you guys barely scrape by, and then you have to have incentive goals for your flight, for your hotel, for your food and everything. And when you get there, you put yourself in a hole.
Okay, but it's not just the debt that's a problem. Okay, so I hear you, and I think what you say is valid. And I think that there is a valid reason to go to conventions. I think there are multiple valid reasons to go to conventions. I've been to a few. They were very good. I think I got my money's worth. But if you were looking at it from a monetary perspective and investing your money in different ways to make more money, like if you really want to go full time and you have to focus a bit on money and you have to say, the things that I am investing in need to become more profitable than I spent on them. You just dropped 2,000 on TwitchCon. Are you going to make 7,000 from it?
So you're saying you have to your cost has to the spending has to the gain has to outweigh the cost pretty much.
And so let's say that you were investing in multiple things that you could then actually make a profit from. It's not that TwitchCon can't, it's that something else might make it more. And if you were looking at as a startup, your pivotal years of like, am I going to make it? You have to think, is TwitchCon going to make me more money, or is something else going to make me more money? So the reason I'm not going to TwitchCon is because I'm trying to like full on focus on YouTube. Right now, I'm trying to get YouTube moving. I'm trying to focus on Twitter. I'm trying to focus on like building more audience and more views, and the money will follow that because I've done focusing on money on streaming. This is more, let me get my views up, let me get my following up on these different platforms. And so I'm focused on that. TwitchCon is not going to give me $2,000 of value for that right now. Could it in the future with the right strategy, the right approach, and what I'm doing, and then eventually potentially make the 4,000 to 7,000 you want off of that in order to make it worth it? Sure. Yeah. But right now, I'm not going to make 2,000 of value on it right now this year where I need it. You know what I mean?
And sometimes if you go on the TwitchCon and you're a streamer and you're like kind of like let's say you're a streamer, you're putting in like 40 people in a stream a day, and you go to TwitchCon, just sometimes those days off could be detrimental to you.
Could be.
Because people feel like, oh, you're gone. They lose people lose interest in content creators very quickly.
Yeah. My numbers are not very good because I am not super consistent on routine. I stream on days, but my times vary, and that's very harmful to your viewership. Now, my community is very tight, and like I'm doing a totally different vibe. But if you really want, you need to stay on that schedule. Like if you're trying to grow for real, like that's just part of it.
And I'm gonna tell you the dark secret of TwitchCon. Here's a dark thing of TwitchCon, and maybe Matt can back me up in this because she went 1 year. Half the people you want to meet are fucking horrible people. Horrible. Antisocial. They will look at you and be like, oh, hi. Or they would take a step back and go, oh, hi. They're not. You ever heard the term don't meet your heroes? Don't meet your heroes. Like I'm serious. There's some people I've talked to off stream and they're fucking cool as shit and we're fucking amazing. Then there's people I met and they're just like, what the hell? Like they're very socially awkward. They don't like you. They have a small group of friends. They don't want you around. You're a viewer? Cool. Stay over there.
There's so much going on because there's like micro celebrities within streaming who might have like hundreds of viewers and they're getting or up to thousands, but like hundreds probably average that are getting like just congregated around, and like that can be very dangerous. There's just a lot going on with that. And because people are very parasocial, they think that like you're best friends because streaming is very like it's an intimate form of media out of all of them. Because
I still don't get the whole parasocial stuff at times. I really don't get how you guys do it.
Because like people you feel like they're talking directly to you, and if you aren't a streamer, if you aren't a streamer and you haven't done it, you feel like they're talking directly to you. And I'm not saying everybody does this, but it can become very parasocial because of that. Because they think that you are like the amount of people that, will like come in streamers' DMs and like think that they're best of friends and that they know exactly who they are and just like ask random questions. Like you see that happen. It's very common, especially the bigger the streamer you are. And so everybody feels like they know you. And especially if you're friendly and you greet people and you remember their name and you remember little things about them, people will think that you're like on a friendship level where you might feel like, yes, I want the best for you and I appreciate you as a viewer, but you don't know them. And so when you have like a bunch of people coming up to you as like a larger streamer, that can be a very odd experience, I think, for a lot of people. And then for the smaller ones, it's like, they might be hanging out with their crew. They have a group of friends. That can be very, very fun for them. But how much are they really gaining if they're just hanging out with their friends and they're not going out, like you said, in networking, talking to brands, talking directly to people who they might want to collab with in a very specific way? Like those things are important. But if they're just hanging out with their friends and they're meeting maybe a couple other streamers that might stop by their stream and then it kind of dies off and it's like, well, you didn't really gain anything. Like you went for fun. Let's be real. You didn't go to build your business.
Now, we're not saying we're not trying to persuade you not to go to TwitchCon. We're not saying it's going to be a horrible experience and like you're going to meet people who are just everybody's an asshole. You'll have a good experience. You'll fucking meet people that's like, yo, let's hang out, dude. I saw your TwitchCon. Let's hang out some more. Whatever. You'll grow connections and stuff. But some people, you just have to know. There's like a lot of fucking some of these streamers that you think are like the nicest of people aren't really that nice, and sometimes they don't want outsiders in their inner circle. Like I met Matt at TwitchCon, and it was very brief. I was like, "Hey, what's going on? Hi."
And
I
we
think
weren't
did
even
a
at
quick
TwitchCon.
handshake.
We were both at like a barcade of some sort, and just
Yeah, we were
happened to
the
see each other. And we were
yeah
like, "Oh hey!" and like walked up and
yeah
talked for a minute.
yeah. It was like a quick meeting, and I was like, "Oh, okay, cool. Oh, haha, yeah, bye." And that was it. That was it. That's all we saw of each other.
Yeah.
Now, me and Matt, we talk on Twitch. We
We've
talk
chatted
on
since.
Twitter.
Yeah.
We chat. So that's a connection. But before I really knew Matt, we just kind of had minor interactions on Twitter and Twitch. Minor. When I met Matt, did I go, "Oh, I know everything about you"? No. Did she go, "Oh, I know everything about you, Della"? No. It was very quick.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "Oh, are you kicking it with people? Oh, cool." And that was it.
Yeah, we had face-to-face value, which I think is very important. Like
Yeah.
meeting people and having that face-to-face can really grow the connection because you're like, oh, they're a real person, and then you can have that kind of. And then if you have a conversation, like let's say that we'd been thinking about this podcast, then we could have sat down and had a conversation about it, and I think that could have been really cool for us. But like, is it necessary to get there because we've gotten here anyway? I don't think it's necessarily necessary,
yeah.
but it can help absolutely.
Yeah, we didn't get here like overnight. It took like time.
Yeah.
It took like a lot of time because again, here's what you have. Like she said, like parasocial, these parasocial relationships. Just because we met in person and had a decent conversation that one time, doesn't mean every conversation we had after that would have been good. I could have been a complete fucking psychopath.
Yeah, and it
She could
doesn't
have been
mean
a
that we
fucking
like
complete
became best
narcissist.
friends immediately. And some people do. Some people like meet people and they're like, now we're best friends and we talk every day. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with
Correct,
that.
cool.
But it just doesn't mean that it's going to happen. And there's a big risk there with that much money, like that you're going to be able to get any kind of value from that. Like when I went, I was planning a big event and I was able to meet people who then became part of that event. So I did streamer games like the next month. And I had that in my mind when I went to TwitchCon. And that was my goal, was to find people who could help host streamer games with me. And I had a lot of really cool hosts on there and I had met them in person. So when I reached out, it wasn't as weird. It was like, oh, I just met her. And I was like, hey, you want to join? Or I asked some people in person if they might be interested. But after I reached out and I was like, hey, do you want to be a host for streamer games? I think you would fit this game really well, blah, blah, blah. And it worked out. And that wasn't an investment I used that I made some revenue from, but I basically broke even because I spent a lot on prizes. So I was able to offer prizes because I got income from it. And that was more of like a growth, like a viewer growth idea than it was, and a brand growth idea and something to have in the background that I've done because I can say I did a big event, than it was to make money. And so not everything is necessarily to make money. Don't get me wrong. If you're not going to get $7,000 of value from it right now, but you think it's going to help you in other ways, please do it. Like not everything is just monetary, but if you're trying to survive off of streaming income, you do have to be mindful of these things.
Very smart with it. And it's not just, we're not talking like TwitchCon. There's like, you got PAX, East, West, North, South, and like BlizzCon, all these stuff. Like, if you're going to these conventions as with a market sense, like I'm going to market myself more and create connections, because sometimes I've seen people I see at TwitchCon at PAX East, and I could have that talk again.
Mm-hmm.
Even like New York Comic Con, I met like brand companies, and I had conversation with them. I remember this one conversation I had with a guy from G Fuel, and he was like, he's going to be at TwitchCon. I was like, okay, I'll see you at TwitchCon, bro. So had made that connection. When I got to TwitchCon, he was there, shook his hand, had more deeper conversation. Now, why was I having those more deeper conversations? Because I wanted a potential partnership with G Fuel. Did I get it? No. But I still made that connection to get my name out there and everything. And that's what it is. Like, that's the name of the game when you a business owner or a content creator, getting your name out there. Because you have to put your name out there in every way. Just not on Twitch. It has to be Twitch, YouTube, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. It's a lot. It's a long game.
Yes, and I think you just made such a good point short game with that, because it's one of many variables, and it's one of the most expensive variables, is kind of what I was trying to get to with my thought, and I don't think I've expressed that well yet, is like, it is one of the most expensive things that you can do to get your name out there and to meet people and to network. You can network online, and do that pretty well if you're smart about it. You can even you could email someone and jump on a call to pick their brain, or to, like, people will generally like be open to that if you have a specific thing that you want to look for to network with them on. Just have a conversation, and you could do that, and you don't necessarily need to spend $2,000 to do that. You can just reach out to people. Very few people do that, and most people will be appreciative of it, right? And
Yeah,
I've had some circumstances where I've opened up conversations for like a specific thing, and now I know them and we know each other, and it's like a cool. So I recommend that first. Like, if you're just wanting to network with people. Like, why spend $2,000 to do it? Like, if that's your goal, you don't have to wait till TwitchCon.
Correct. Again, is it worth it at the end of the day for you? Is it worth it? Can going to conventions like TwitchCon, PAX, and all that stuff be worth it? Yes, it can be, because now people have a better sense of you as a person and your face, and they're seeing and remembering you, right? And then you create a connection. Then talk to them offline. The thing is, a lot of people do, they just talk to the person at TwitchCon and they never talk to them again.
Yep, exactly.
Like,
so if you go, you have to have a plan. You have to have an idea. You have to know what you're doing and why.
There's a lot of people know me from either TwitchCon or other people's streams, because they see me a lot in other people's streams. Why? Why are you always on other people's streams and not your own stream? Maybe sometimes I just rather just be a side character. I don't like to be the main character sometimes, because at the end of the day, it's like, it's a lot of work. But the thing is, like, oh, I remember you from this guy's stream, or I remember you from this event. Like, cool, I have a connection.
Yeah.
And I'm all about making like business connections, because it's a business mindset I have. Because once you create a business mindset, let's say streaming doesn't work out for you. Let's say you stop streaming, you go to full daytime job.
Yeah.
Those people you made those business connections with will remember you. Say, hey, listen, I have a product or something that I think that I want you to test or try. Or I think you might really like it. Do you mind like helping me with this? And like, yeah. And you create a freaking network, and you may end up working for that company.
Yeah.
But a lot of people just see like streaming and go full force into it.
Yeah, and there's potential for things too. Like when you're at a conference, if you have, like what you were just saying with making the business connections. For instance, I do consulting for businesses. And so it could be very lucrative for me to go if I pitched my consulting and said, hey, I'm basically an on-demand employee that knows corporate finance, knows how to make processes better. Like, I could do that. And there's a potential for me to make a lot of money from that, over $2,000. But that's not my focus right now. Like, I'm trying to do that digitally, and there could be a very good opportunity for me there that I'm missing, but you always have to think about the opportunity cost. Right now, I'm focused on generating content and getting stuff out, because I still don't have very many YouTube videos as much as I talk about YouTube. I have a ton recorded. I'm like backlogged on like editing. It's a constant bottleneck, and I'm just constantly trying to churn out content and improve what I'm doing. And so that's been my focus this last year, is like really trying to hone in on how I can make the processes faster, and then getting it done and just doing it, scripting better, planning content better, and getting it done, right? And a lot of people, if you're happy with your content and you like where it is and you like what you're doing and you have something to sell, go to TwitchCon right now. Go to any conference right now. That's your time to network. Go to every conference. But if you have stuff to do on the back end because you are still rolling with like trying to get your content out, and you're not proud of it yet, and you're not at where you want to be to sell stuff, and that's your focus, don't go to the conventions right now. You have to think about your why.
Yeah. And listen, also, as we know with content creation, sometimes it's about luck. Some people get very fucking lucky. You might meet that one streamer who remembers you, and the next thing you know, they raid you with a fucking 1,000 people raid, and you grow from there.
1,000 people raid does not necessarily change your life. I've had multiple hundreds and thousands of people raids, and it doesn't.
Okay, I get it. I'm just using an example.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
But
Why
I'm just saying, like
even
even if you get up to like, almost partner numbers, whatever, there are plenty of partners will tell you those numbers are going to drop off. Like, it's not necessarily consistent. There's so many variables to it. And some people blow up from one game. Some people blow up because it was a season. It's just none of it's consistent. And so putting $2,000 into something that you might get like a big raid, it's not necessarily going to be life changing for you.
But the thing is, what I was trying to get to with that was like, when that big raid hits and you get that check mark or fucking sponsorship with whatever, you have to improve your content and you have to evolve.
Well, not just improve your content though.
You have to, because you're here. You're no longer here. You're here.
Well, it's not just improve your content.
I say you have to improve your content, and you have to like keep the entertainment level high.
No, it's not just improve your content. So what I'm saying is, think about all the partners that fall off, or people get big numbers and fall off. I had almost partner numbers at one point pretty consistently, and I fell off. And the reason is because I changed my content. I improved it, but I changed it. And so if your audience is not about where you're going, that audience is going to drop off. When I was like in TwitchCon days, Streamer Games days, all that, I was like throwing parties every day. And we were singing and dancing and playing Fortnite. Before that, I was doing Animal Crossing. Very, very different content. So the Animal Crossing people dropped off. Then it was like partying during Fortnite and doing all sorts of stuff and like collabing. I was in every person's stream all the time, and I was networking nonstop. Numbers went way up. And then I changed my content again, and now I'm very focused on the gaming. And I think that's probably going to stay that way. I'm not trying to put on a show. I'm not an entertainer. I'm not funny. I just want to connect with people and play games. And so, I found my part of the industry I want to be in. And everybody has to kind of find that for themselves. And so there's going to be seasons where certain things work better for you, right? And there's going to be things that might work better for you than others. And so it's all opportunity cost. And it's not necessarily improving, because if you improve, but you're improving in a different direction, your audience could still drop off.
Well, I think for me, I am like I don't bullshit. You've been to my streams. I come out and say what I'm gonna fucking say, and political aspect, streaming aspect, and people aspect, and like a lot of people find that off-putting, but I don't alienate my viewers. Mm-hmm. I diversify my viewers. A lot of people have a niche. Did I say right? A niche? A niche? I don't fucking know words.
I say niche, but I think it can be said anyway.
A lot of people have that one thing. Like, there's people who are just Fortnite streamers, and that's all they do is live and breathe Fortnite. The minute they switch to, like, let's say fucking Call of Duty, it's like, who are you?
Right. Yeah.
So, me, I'm just like, I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want.
Yeah.
But I'm going to join different people.
Mm-hmm. And then some of them stay, and some of them, like, there's some people who come in for a season because they really like the game, and then they'll fall off.
Like
and that's
said.
Okay. And so it's natural, right? And if you're variety, that's just the case. But if, let's say that you are just chatting and that's your primary thing, and you're connecting with people, and then you're collabing with people, TwitchCon is going to be extremely valuable for you. Like anything live event is going to be extremely valuable. But if you're like me and I'm focused on trying to primarily make gaming content right now, it's not going to be as valuable for me. So it like boils down to what you're trying to do and knowing that. And so the people who are like, oh, I'm going to meet that streamer and I'm going to get the big braid and I'm going to be fucking famous.
Why are you going with a country accent? What is this?
I go into accents when I'm doing stuff. It just happens.
But why is it? Okay, it's not just you. Everybody that does like a invitation, they go country.
Why no, I do British sometimes too. Like when I'm reading stuff on like if I like start reading something, I'm like, okay, my mug, for instance, I'd be like, play games, fuck work. It happens. I usually default to like Southern. Now, to be fair, I am from the South, but default to Southern or default to like that. Or if I'm talking, actually, if I'm talking with different people, I will pick up their accent a little bit in my own every time. I'm a bit of like chameleon.
I'm offended on the behalf of the Southern people that you use them as an example to talk about complaining.
Well,
it's offensive.
That's unfortunate because I'm still gonna do it. They'll be like, hey, I'm gonna be big streamer because big streamer's gonna raid me, and I'm just gonna be the next big thing. And yeah, it's like, come on, man. Like, let's just be realistic for a second. A big raid's not gonna change your life. It's gonna be really fun. It's gonna be really cool. And anybody who's raided me who's big, seriously, thank you. It means a lot. It is not going to change your life. It's going to change your day. Like, I'm
gonna be big streamer, and you tell you be job boy, be babu. I'm gonna do it.
It's just not necessarily gonna work. Like, not the way that people think. Like, getting a big opportunity can work if the audience is the same. So let's say that a big streamer rates you, and it's not at all your content, and the viewers don't like your content. It's not because your content's bad, it's because it's not their thing. I mean, it still could be bad, but it just probably, like, everybody has an audience, and the audience might be small and the audience might be big. It doesn't make your content bad just because it's for a smaller audience. That's not how that works. Think about all of the niche items that sell to fewer people, but they're more expensive. It's just like, know what you're going for, know what that audience size is. And if it's not the right audience size for what you want, you've got to do something else. That's just period, end of story.
Yeah. Agreed. So so with our final thoughts on this is like, is these things worth it? You got to think about your time and your dollar value with this stuff, especially as many of you guys are like younger and you guys are just getting into this stuff, and you got to see if this is going to be really worth it to me in the end. Is that $500 gaming console going to be worth it to me? Is it for me? Like, is it for a person for me? Can I afford it? Can I afford to go to this freaking convention? Can I afford to upgrade my PC? Can I afford all these things? Are these things worth it? Yes and no. Like in life, everything has a pro and a con. You just have to weigh them. You have to weigh them. Do not sit there and be reckless with your coin, especially if you start making a lot of coin. Because when you make X amount of dollars, a lot of you guys don't put the money aside to pay for taxes. And you end up owing the IRS hundreds and thousands of dollars. And if you think they're not going to catch you, they will find you.
Yep.
They will catch you.
And think
They
about
know.
the return on investment for everything, like both quantitative and qualitative. So, if you're going to these networking events and it lifts you up for a month, that could work over and over again. If you are in everybody's streams and you are everywhere and you are at every conference, you are going to get raids and you are going to get people in your stream, period. That will make your viewers go up. But you have to continue to do that. And so if that's not the
Yes.
game you want to play, if you'd rather be known for your content than your networking, you need to focus on your content. It's period.
Yes. A lot of people like to say, oh, girls have it easy on streaming. While it is agreeable at times, but sometimes do you think they don't put work into their content? This is your content sometimes. I don't have a good looking face. So, but if I really had a handsome chiseled body face, you don't think I will work in it to make the content better if this is my money maker?
I see it as an equation.
Right?
It's a math equation. So if you want to play
Yes.
up attractiveness or sexual attractiveness, that's part of the equation. You can have it at 0 or you can have it at 10, whatever you want to do, right? And so people that see girls that have it up to 10, they think that all girls can use their attractiveness. And
Right.
that's not necessarily the case, nor is it part of their content if they're not doing that type
Exactly.
of content. So that doesn't help them if they're not playing into it. For instance, I wear t-shirts and hoodies and I don't wear makeup half the time. So I'm not playing into it and I don't have that advantage. Could I? Yes, but I would be doing sexually charged content and that's not what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to game and have people know me for my gaming. So it's like,
Yes,
sure,
but-
you know.
But at the same time, she has to be good at her games, and she's not that good. So you got to.
I'm actually decent, but casually.
No,
so.
no, you're good. But like Call of Duty streamers.
And part of it's the
You
getting
can't be
good journey too, right?
Yes,
You can do
yes.
that. It's very
A
fun.
Call of Duty streamers, a Fortnite streamers, FPS streamers, right? You have to be good. You have to show content, like clips of you being good and
Or
you
have
being
a niche.
crazy.
Have a niche.
Or have a
like
niche in
I
it.
saw one girl, she's pretty funny. She does like where she'll talk to random strangers and will like have adventures with them and then post that as like a video or a clip. And so her whole thing is like finding strangers and making funny content with them on Call of Duty.
Yeah.
And so she
Yeah.
has a niche. It's like if you're not good, come up with something funny. You can either be skilled or entertaining. Or both
Exactly.
would be great. But if you're not one or the other, find a different journey. Like there's somebody who does really good that I know of. I Am Rob. He does amazing platinum YouTube videos, and all of his streaming content is leading up to those platinum videos, and it's his platinum journeys. So people are like on that journey with him. If you can have something like that that's bringing people in, you have the
Even
entertainment value.
IRS streamers. Look at the Dynamite twins. I met one of the twins. I forgot which one I met because they look the same. But like their whole thing is IRS streaming. They go around and that's their niche. They go around, walk around New York, IRS streaming, talking, going to places, going to
Cooking
events.
streamers are great.
Cooking
Yeah, that just
streamers,
reminded me
those
of
are
cooking
niches.
streamers. Yeah.
Niches. And like again, you could play off of the attractive. There's guys streamers who play off their attractive who lift weights and stuff and to bring in a crowd.
Yeah, I did
Female
fitness
streamers
games for a little while. That was pretty
yeah,
cool.
there's a niche. So people pay off of the skill or how they look.
Yeah.
Again, there's some people who like what they call it, what's the term it's called? When you just live like a fucking slob. It's a thing.
Asmongold?
Huh?
Asmongold?
Oh, you're such a yeah.
What? No, he literally self-admits it every day, bro. He like pays
But no, it's
Dexerto to
called
write about
something.
him being a slob. What are you talking about?
It's called something. It's called something. They call it something. Like I forgot what it's called, but like it's disgusting. I hate it. I can't do that.
Yeah.
But there's a niche to that. There's something about that. Everybody has their own cup of tea.
Yeah.
And you're not gonna be always somebody's cup of tea. And
Everybody has a specific audience. You're never going you're never
Yes.
going to appeal to everyone. So stop trying that and know what you're about. And that can change over time, but know that when it does change, your viewers could change and not necessarily to the positive, at least immediately.
And you have to ask yourself, is it gonna be worth it? Is it gonna be worth it of you doing what you're doing? Is it gonna be worth it for you to be working on a stream all the time, just being sweaty all the time, and just knowing that's my whole stream? Is it worth it? Like, what's the pros of me always being on a stream working out? Right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna get fit, but my body's gonna always hurt in some type of way. I got my joints and stuff. Oh, I'm a just chatting girl, and I look pretty and everything, and like I talk to people and I make people feel good. Is it gonna be worth it? You know, I'm getting attention, but I may get the wrong attention because there's fucking creeper and guys, and everybody thinks they know me and stuff. Like,
Is it worth it?
again, is it worth it? So, in closing arguments, is it really worth it? You got to think about that.
Weigh
Let
every
us know in the
decision by it.
comments.
Every
Let us know in the
decision.
comments what you think. And I mean, that's all I got. You got anything you want to say to close out on?
No, that's perfect. It's literally weigh every single decision that you are doing, especially when you're running it as a business. If you have signed the affiliate contract, you are a business. Stop pretending you're not. Stop pretending you're doing it for fun. If you're doing it for fun, you don't sign the affiliate contract because now you're making money. Now it's a business.
Yeah. And I'll be at TwitchCon next weekend, and I'm going to be drinking myself to oblivion every day and partying. Is it going to be worth it? Oh, we'll find out.
And I will not be. I'll be here editing YouTube videos. So we'll see. Hopefully, but what both of us do will be worth it on some degree.
But I will be marketing our stuff
will
too. I'll
be.
be marketing our stuff too. I will be marketing.
I'll be
Don't get
editing
me
some
wrong.
of our stuff, and he'll be marketing it. And hopefully
I'll
that
be
means
marketing
this will
stuff.
work.
It'll work, all right? Hopefully it'll be worth it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you for joining us again on another episode of Unfiltered Gamers. Be sure to hit that subscribe button, even hit that bell so you get alerted when we drop new videos. And tell your friends about us. All right. I'm Delacroix,
I'm mad curious.
and we'll see you in the next one. Peace out.